Hi all, today we are going to discuss about single phase half wave diode rectifier with R load and RE load. So let us start with the R load because it is the easiest most to analyze. So I am taking a supply AC voltage which is given by Vs is equal to V maximum sin omega t, which is connected through a diode rectifier or a half wave diode rectifier to the R load. So this inputs voltage I can represent in this form. This is Vs is equal to V maximum sin omega t. Let us assume how the diode will respond for this one. So when your supply voltage is positive half cycle, during positive half cycle the anode is positive with respect to the cathode, so the diode will get forward biased. So during positive half cycle your diode will conduct. So you can tell that the output voltage, because diode is conducting, entire supply voltage will appear across your output. So your output voltage will resemble the input voltage during the positive half cycle. So now coming to the negative half cycle, during negative half cycle the diode get reverse biased, so it will not conduct. So that's why during negative half cycle it will not conduct. So this is my output voltage. So this output voltage will be equal to your input voltage during this positive half cycle, assuming the voltage drop across the diode is negligible. So now coming to the current passing through the circuit, or the output current will be the ratio of voltage across the load divided by the resistance of the load. So this will be equal to V0 divided by R. Again it will have the linear relationship with the voltage, so that's why it will come like this. This is my output current. So output current how much will be there? This will be equal to V maximum divided by R. So this much value will come. So this is my output current. So now coming to what is the voltage across the diode. So in order to know what will be the voltage across the diode, I can apply the KVL in this loop. If you apply the KVL in this loop, I will start from here. This is Vs. So let us take it as plus minus here. This is reference. So Vs. So I am going from plus to minus. So Vs minus Vd minus V0 is equal to 0. Or otherwise we can tell that Vs is equal to V0 plus Vd. So when the output voltage is resembling the input, so diode voltage is equal to 0. And during this half cycle the diode is not conducting. So output voltage is equal to 0, or the sum of diode voltage plus output voltage should be equal to your source voltage. So obviously your diode voltage will be equal to your supply voltage during the negative half cycle. So again this magnitude will be equal to V maximum only, or we can tell the peak inverse voltage or the voltage across the diode under reverse blocking condition will be equal to V maximum. So let us try to derive the equations for the average value and the RMS value. Here you can see our diode is only conducting for one half cycle. Out of 2 pi it is only conducting from 0 to pi, and pi to 2 pi it is not conducting. Agree with me? So let us try to calculate the average value. Average value will be, because we have to calculate for the entire duration, that is 1 by 2 pi. But your diode is only conducting from 0 to pi, it is reproducing your input to the output, that is V maximum sin omega t d omega t. This will be equal to V maximum divided by 2 pi. I have taken out. So this sin omega t integration will become equal to minus cos omega t. I am doing the integration from 0 to pi. Substitute 0 to pi. This will become equal to V maximum by pi. So now calculating the RMS value. RMS value is nothing but root mean square value. So I have to take square root of the square of this value. We have to take the square of the value divided by 2 pi, because total duration is 2 pi. Integration it is only conducting from 0 to pi. So input value, whatever the voltage is there, voltage square I have to do, that is V maximum sin omega t whole square d omega t. I have to take the square root. I have taken the square root. So this will be equal to V maximum, I can take outside. This is V maximum square by 2 pi. Integration from 0 to pi. Sin square omega t I can write as 1 minus cos 2 omega t divided by 2 d omega t whole to the power of 1 by 2. So when you are doing the integration and substituting the values, so you will get the value as V maximum divided by 2. Your value will come as V maximum divided by 2. So now coming to average output current. Average output current will be equal to average voltage divided by, because it is passing through a resistance, divided by R, because current is resembling the voltage only. So this will be equal to average value is V maximum by pi and the resistor I have added here. Similar is the case, RMS current will be equal to RMS voltage divided by resistance, that is V maximum by 2 is the RMS value multiplied by the resistance. We got it. Now peak inverse voltage. Peak inverse voltage is the maximum voltage across the diode during the reverse blocking conditions. Because based on this we can decide what should be the voltage withstanding capability of my device required. Because currently we are discussing about diode, and in future we are going to discuss about SCR and other devices. There will be a upper limit up to how much voltage they can withstand. So accordingly we can select the device. So peak inverse voltage is a very important parameter. So that peak inverse voltage in the case of half wave rectifier will be equal to V maximum, which is root 2 times of RMS value of your supply voltage. RMS value I am representing by the capital value. So V suffix S. S means source value, source RMS value. Getting it? Now power delivered to the resistive load. Power delivered can be taken as for the case of resistor, it is simply product of RMS value of voltage multiplied by RMS value of current, or we know that is nothing but equal to I square into R. What is that I? I is the RMS value of current square into R. Same thing I have derived here. If you are taking VOR multiplied by IOR, so VOR is V maximum by 2. IOR is V maximum by 2R. We have already calculated this. So this will be equal to V maximum square by 4R. So I can write V maximum by root 2 is nothing but the RMS value. So V maximum by root 2 I am writing as Vs. So V maximum square divided by 2. So 2 I can separate out, thus becomes Vs square. So this is Vs square divided by 2R. So why this is coming? Since I am just writing here. So V maximum by root 2 will be equal to Vs. So from this I have substituted this one. So I got this value. So this will be IOR square multiplied by R. So now come the important parameter, how to calculate the input power factor. So input power factor will be equal to, because we know the power is equal to V into I into cos phi, that means Vrms into Irms into cos phi. Or cos phi will be nothing but the power divided by Vrms into Irms. So we have to take how much is the power that is delivered to the load. So power delivered to the load in this case will be VOR multiplied by IOR, because in this example, because from load to load this equation can change, but power delivered to load is fixed. So power delivered to the load divided by input volt ampere. Input volt ampere will be input voltage RMS value multiplied by input current RMS value. Because current supplied by source is equal to current supplied to the load, in this case IS is equal to IL. So that's why Vs multiplied by IOR. This will be, because IOR is same. So VOR divided by Vs. So VOR RMS value is nothing but equal to V maximum by 2. What is V maximum? Because V maximum is nothing but root 2 times of Vs. You can see from here V maximum is root 2 times of Vs. This will be root 2 times of Vs divided by 2 divided by Vs. So you will get it as 0.707 lagging. That means whenever you are adopting a half wave rectifier in order to supply the resistive load, it is not at unity power factor, it is operating at 0.707 lagging. So there is a effect. So this is one of the interview question which is asked for me in some college interview when I appeared in some NIT interview. So they have asked me this, what is the effect of the diode rectifier on the input power factor. So in the case of resistive load, we are getting it as 0.707 lag, and we are going to discuss in the coming lectures also. Because of the rectifiers, what happens, the DC component will pass in the transformer that is supplying it. So the transformer will go to deep saturation. So normal transformer cannot be used for rectifier purpose. For the case of rectifier purpose, we always go for zigzag star transformer connection. So if you want to know about zigzag star transformer connection in detail, you can please refer to my transformers playlist, zigzag star transformer connection. I have explained there in detail. So why only that is useful, why not normal transformer? So that is also the question which is asked for me in one of the interviews. So now let us take one example to clarify this clearly. A single phase 230 volts 2 kilowatt heater is connected across single phase half wave diode rectifier supplied by single phase 230 volts 50 Hz supply. Calculate the power delivered to the heating element and input power factor. So they are asking input power factor and how much is the power delivered to the heating element. First let us calculate what is the resistance of the heating element. Resistance of heating element will be, because heating element rating is 230 volts 2 kilowatt. So V square divided by R is equal to power, or V square by power is equal to R. That's why this is 230 square divided by 2000. You will get it as 26.45 ohms. Now RMS value of the output voltage will be, we have just seen already derived, this is V maximum by 2. I calculated that one. Similarly RMS value of the current will be equal to VOR divided by R. We get a 6.148 amperes. So now power absorbed by the element. So power absorbed by the element is VOR square divided by R. Either you can calculate with this or IOR square multiplied by R. Whatever the procedure you calculate, you will get the value as 1000 watts. So now input power factor will be equal to VOR divided by VS for resistive load. So this will be equal to 0.707 lagging. It is 0.707 lagging. So let us proceed further. Single phase half wave diode rectifier with RE load. That means let us assume I want to charge a battery. Whenever you are charging a battery, one current limiting resistor also will be connected. So let us assume that resistance is R, and this battery, because battery generally will have the nearly constant voltage, let us take the ideal case, ideal battery, that means a constant voltage, and you are charging this battery using a diode rectifier. So how it will behave? So now whenever the switch is closed at time t is equal to 0, your supply voltage waveform is this one. So you can see the supply voltage initially is 0. Your voltage of your battery is E. So E is greater than the supply voltage. So your diode get reverse biased. When the diode is reverse biased, it will not conduct. And when the value of Vs has reached equal to E, let us assume at some instant theta 1. So that theta 1 will be equal to, because V maximum sin theta will be equal to E at this instant, or we can calculate theta 1 is equal to sine inverse of E by Vm. So after this the diode get forward biased, so it will start conducting. After this the diode get forward biased and it will start conducting, and up to where it will conduct? Until your supply voltage is greater than E. Up to where it will be greater than E? Up to this point, that is pi minus theta 1. Up to pi minus theta 1. Or we can tell the output voltage will resemble like this. Let us draw the output voltage with black color. So until this theta 1, your output voltage will be equal to E. Output voltage will be equal to E, and after this output voltage will resemble your source voltage. And again, when it reaches this point, again it will remain at E. It will remain at E. And up to what extent it will remain? Again when your supply voltage is greater than this one. So again it will continue. Getting it? So this value will be equal to V maximum value. It will reach up to maximum value. So this is my output voltage. This is my output voltage. So now coming to the current. So current will be whenever the output voltage, that means when the diode start conducting, then only current will pass. So current will pass from this instant up to this instant. The diode is reverse biased, so the current will not pass. So it will pass from here and it will pass up to this instant. So that I am drawing here. So let us take with the blue color. So current will pass from here to here up to this value. Again similar way here also the current will pass from here to here. So this is my current waveform. This is my value of I0. So I0 will pass like this. So now coming to the diode. So again if you apply the KVL in this loop, if you apply the KVL, we can write that Vs will be equal to Vd plus Vr plus E. Agree with me? Whenever the current is passing, then only VR will be there, otherwise VR will be equal to 0. That means only when the current is passing, voltage will drop across the resistor also plus your battery. Getting it? So whenever the current becomes 0, the voltage drop across the resistor is equal to 0. So VR becomes 0, only Vd and E will be there. Only Ed and V will be there. So let us take initially. Initially what happens? Until your supply voltage reaches E, your diode is reverse biased. Your diode is reverse biased. So the entire voltage will drop across this one only. That means initially when your supply voltage is equal to 0, because from this equation I can write Vd is equal to Vs minus E. When Vs is equal to 0, it becomes E. So minus E. So gradually it will increase. It will reach this point. So after this point your diode will conduct. So it will be normal. Again at this point onwards, again it will start increasing. It will start increasing like this. So it will reach some value, peak value, and it will reach here 0. So this value is equal to E, and up to this point it is equal to E, and along with E it is reaching up to a value of Vs, up to your supply voltage. Under reverse bias conditions you can see lower plate will be positive, upper plate will be negative. So total voltage across your diode will be, if you are going in this loop, it will be Vs plus E. Vs plus E will be there, under reverse bias condition. So we can tell that peak inverse voltage across the diode will be equal to Vs plus E. Again I am repeating, during reverse bias conditions, so your supply voltage is reversed now, it will add to E, the total voltage will be applied across your diode under reverse bias conditions. That's why peak inverse voltage across your diode will be equal to Vs plus E. Please remember this one. So let us proceed further. I can apply during the conduction period when the diode is forward biased. I can write the KVL will be equal to Vs is equal to E plus I naught into R, because Vd is equal to 0. So this I can write as Vs is V maximum sin omega t is equal to E plus I naught into R. From this I naught will be equal to V maximum sin omega t minus E divided by R. So this is my instantaneous value of the current during conduction period. So now average output current will be equal to 1 by 2 pi is the total duration, but it is only conducting from theta 1 to pi minus theta 1. So what is the value? Output value of the current will be V maximum sin omega t minus E by R d omega t. So that I have to do integration from theta 1 to pi minus theta 1. I have to divide with 2 pi total duration. Getting it? When you simplify it, you will get this answer. So similarly, RMS value will be equal to again 1 by 2 pi. It is conducting from theta 1 to pi minus theta 1. You have to take the current value square, that is I maximum sin omega t minus E by R whole square d omega t whole to the power of 1 by 2. So when you simplify it, you will get your answer in this form. So it will be equal to Vs square plus E square into pi minus 2 theta 1. Here you have to remember one thing, here pi is there. So this theta 1 also should be in radians. If you are substituting in degrees, you will get the wrong answer. Whereas this sin 2 theta 1, here it will be in degrees. Or second option, you can keep your calculator in radians mode and substitute all thetas in radians only. In that case also you will get proper answer. Otherwise it is like a trap, you will get the wrong answer. That option will be there, or option A or option B, you will keep the wrong answer. We are going to see with the example, so there I will explain again. So now coming to the power delivered to the load. So your load is having two components, one is the resistor and the second one is the battery, right? So the battery will charge, because battery voltage is E, multiplied by, for the battery will charge with the average current. So that's why I am taking the average value of the current, that is I naught. And whereas the resistor, the power is dissipated due to the RMS value. So that's why it will be equal to IOR square, RMS value of current square into resistance. So it is in watts. Now supply power factor. Supply power factor will be power delivered to the load divided by input volt amperes. Power delivered to the load by input volt amperes, this will be equal to E into I naught plus IOR square into R divided by Vs. Input volt ampere will be RMS value of input voltage into RMS value of the current that is supplied. Getting it? So in this way I can calculate. Now peak inverse voltage across the diode I have already calculated, it is V maximum plus E. How it comes we have already calculated. So let us take one example to completely understand the concept. A battery of constant EMF of 150 volts is charged from a half wave diode rectifier in series with a resistor of 10 ohms. This is the current limiting resistor. For a source voltage of 230 volts 50 Hz, find the average charging current, power delivered to the battery and time required to charge the battery to 1000 watt hours, input power factor and rectifier efficiency. So let us see how to calculate these things. So the diode will conduct from theta 1 to pi minus theta 1. How to calculate theta 1? Sine inverse of E divided by V maximum. V maximum is root 2 times of RMS value. So you will get it as 27.46. So calculate in radians also. In radians this value will be equal to this angle multiplied by pi by 180. Because we know that pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. Getting it? So if you want to convert this angle to radians, so how you will get this one? So this one you have to multiply with 27.46 into pi divided by 180. So then you will get the radians. So now coming to average value of the charging current will be equal to, I have taken the formula. So in this formula I have substituted this theta in radians. So when I substitute, I got the answer as 3.974 amperes. Now power delivered to the battery will be equal to voltage of the battery multiplied by average value of the current that is passing. So it will be 596.1 watts. So battery capacity is mentioned as 1000 watt hour. So watt hour is nothing but watts multiplied by the duration in hours, that gives in watt hour. So that's why this will be nothing but equal to power delivered multiplied by time in hours. So we can tell that the charging time in hours will be equal to 1000 divided by 596.1. It will be 1.678 hours. So we got the charging time. So now coming to the input power factor. For calculating the input power factor, I should know the complete output power that is supplied, right? So I know the power that is supplied to battery, but I need the power supplied to the resistor also. So for calculating the power supplied to resistor, I need the RMS value. That's why I am calculating the RMS value of the charging current. I have just taken the formula, I have just substituted it. So no need to mug up the formula, even you can derive easily in the exam also, because it will only take 1 to 2 minutes, because mugging up you will forget easily. So this will become equal to 7.4364 amperes. Now power dissipated in the resistor will be equal to RMS current square multiplied by resistance. So if you substitute, I got 553 watts. So now rectifier efficiency will be equal to power delivered to the battery, that is the useful work that is done, divided by total power that is supplied. That is your rectifier efficiency. So out of the total power that is supplied to your load, only 596.1 watts has done the useful work, that is charging the battery. So whichever is supplied to the resistor, that is gone in the form of heat. So that's why the total power that is supplied is 596.1 plus 553 into 100. So 51.88% is the rectifier efficiency. Now coming to the supply power factor will be equal to total output power. That means power supplied to the battery plus the resistor, that is the total output power, divided by, or total power supplied to the load divided by RMS value of the input voltage multiplied by the RMS value of the input current. RMS value of input voltage is 230, RMS value of current is 7.4364. You will get it as 0.672 lagging. You can see here, by adding a battery, it is becoming more lagging when compared to the resistive load. So this way it is affecting your supply power factor. I hope everything is clear up to now. If you still have any queries, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries from there. Thank you very much.